Can you hear the music, Mr. Campbell? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear.
You can hear the music?
I can, yep.
All right, gotcha. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'd like to welcome everybody to HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm your man, Rocky, along with my co-host, Mr. Campbell. You are tuned into HBCU Coaches Corner. We have our featured host on the way. And just as I call his name, hey, he made he's making an introduction as we speak. Just give me a thumbs up. Coach Cole, once you're ready for me to bring you in. But before we get started, Mr. Campbell, I got to say, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, listen, we doing great, man. Listen, every Sunday we getting down on sipping on Sundays, man, and having a good time, man. It's about to be springtime. You know, I laugh with Coach. I think he jumped on there with you, and he said, yeah, we talking basketball because this is HBCU Coaches Corner. We can't just do football. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring some baseball folks on here because we got to talk to the coaches. So, man, you know, we've been able to have some basketball coaches on there. We got a couple of more working on some big names and stuff like that. So, man, super excited what we got going on, man.
And we're bringing up my guy.
What's up,
none other than the SWAC legend himself, the champion, our championship coach.
What's up, man? Shoot, boy, look, trying to work some new magic with a new machine I got.
Oh, okay.
I got to load up. Look, I'm getting prepared for the fall, but I know we make sure we do our due diligence.
I got it. Hey, Coach, if you want me to put you down, I when you give me your thumbs up, I'll bring you back up.
Okay, do that.
All right. But Mr. Campbell, there's a couple things. We could address before we get this show started. One of the things is I've been checking out SWAC baseball standards, right? And I got to say Bethune-Cookman is lights out, right? But when I look at their roster, Coach, I can't pronounce any of the names on the roster. Can you do you know anything about the Bethune-Cookman baseball team and what they have going on over there? You muted.
What about now?
Yeah, you good.
So, you know, we kind of talked on this on Sipping on Sundays with Perry. Perry came on, and Perry, of course, Southern has a great baseball tradition, and so does Jackson State. But the thing about Bethune-Cookman, remember, they're in Florida. So they've always had Hispanics on their team. So their coach, that's now Alabama State's coach, he started that trend of having it. So, again, Bethune-Cookman has always recruited Hispanic players. That's part of what their DNA is. And I'll tell you this, and people know this, that in SWAC baseball, period, it is a lot of Caucasian players. Fam, you got a whole lot of them. So this is just part of what we see. And one of the things that we talked about with Perry is that, again, when I was growing up, I can remember a whole all-star game that you could feel the whole, and I'm talking about African-American players at every position, where you had a black pitcher, second base, first base, shortstop, third, and of course all the outfielders. I don't think you might not have had a catcher, but even Charles Johnson was good at one time. So you saw a lot of that. So again, baseball has changed where now when, you know, and shout out to Alabama State, they've won the men's, which I didn't know this, and we kind of talked about this, the men's tennis tournament 5 straight years. But guess what? The majority of their team is Caucasian men, you know? So this is just some of those things that, again, being at HBCU, we don't ever discriminate. If you can play, they're going to go get you. So that's one of the things. And of course, you know, baseball is big in the Cuban community, Hispanic community in Florida. So you can get players. And that's what Bethune-Cookman's built their team off of. Florida A&M, same thing, where we don't have as many Hispanics as Bethune does, but we, you know, our team is very multicultural.
I mean, when I looked at the roster, Coach, I was actually surprised, Mr. Campbell, and because, you know, I peek in at well, you know, we follow football, you know, almost seems like play to play for each team. And then when it comes to basketball, we look in at basketball and we follow basketball and we know who the star players are and the players who are making some hay. And most of those players come from our culture. You know, just be honest with you. This is my first year peeking in on baseball and some of the other, even track and some of the other sports, tennis, whatever, and even now golf. Now that Prairie View has won the championship in women's golf. So I'm getting to understand that this HBCU culture, it's very diverse. It's very diverse when you talk about the what are known as non-revenue sports on the PWI side of the house. I used to like to call them the welfare sports, but I'll stop doing that because, you know, especially in a sense that the guys who play the revenue sports are being taken care of.
Yep.
And so with that being the case, that I think that has put all of the non-revenue sports on notice, meaning that they have to, there's a way, you know, they have to be funded and they have to come up, I believe, with some, you know, streams of revenue for those programs if they want to be funded and participate. But yeah, it's interesting to see and look at the non-revenue sports and find out that at these HBCU universities that they're very diverse and multicultural.
Well, I tell you the thing, but it also goes, and this is the part. I hate that because baseball in general, you don't see, if you go to like where the black high schools are. See, I remember growing up, man, you saw cats playing. See, it was not special. And I still think, and most athletes tell you that, man, you had guys, you know what? They play football and baseball. They play baseball and basketball. They played multiple sports. So you had all these guys, like in Jackson, that you could see cats. Man, they were just as good baseball players as they were football players. Because that's what they did. They played some, they couldn't play basketball, so then they played baseball. And then they just rotate in and out. So you had any guy that was a quarterback was a pitcher. 100%. Guaranteed. So you had those guys that played. And so you would see those guys matriculate, and then they go to Valley, they go to Alcorn, they go to Jack State. And you will see them play. Same thing. I played baseball every summer down in New Orleans. North baseball. Listen, that league, I can probably remember cats that I played against that played at LSU, that played at Southern, that played at Grambling, went to the pros. I mean, you could see it right then and again how bad these boys. But I'm pretty sure North baseball is not the same way it was when I was coming through there in the early 80s. You know what I mean? And things like that. But everybody was black. Everybody was playing baseball. But now you go, I have friends of mine say, hey, man, they got a baseball team. That's going on. They don't have that. Or guess what they do? They don't even play for the high school. They play for a travel team, which is crazy to me, which is totally crazy.
Yeah.
That you don't have that. So when you got these schools that the pipeline where, again, the majority, again, black schools that populated, again, you can go, man, like I say, you can go look at some of our great baseball players that are black. Go look and see where they play high school at. Especially Florida A&M down in Tampa, man. Listen, you go Google black baseball players from Tampa. Ridiculous what they used to bring out of Tampa. So those are things that you sit back and see now. So what happens? Hispanics, they're playing baseball. That's their first sport. So guess what? If you're trying to win championship, who are you gonna go get? Now, what's interesting, because I'm a big college guy. So I've always watched college baseball. But what has happened is you go look at Vanderbilt, right? You know what Vanderbilt coach said? I need to get more athletes. Because he couldn't get the white guys that Georgia, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, the traditional LSU, these are the traditional SEC powers, right? Mississippi State, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida, Georgia sometimes, not Tennessee's gotten good. But I'm talking about just overall. So you know what he said? Let me go get some black kids. Yeah, black. I'm talking about Vanderbilt. I'm talking about first-round picks. Because he could go get those kids and bring their athleticism back. And that's how Vanderbilt, Michigan's doing the same thing. They're bringing more black baseball players. So you see the opportunity there for the kids. But again, we don't play enough of it for us to get the opportunity.
Hey, Coach Cole, we were just talking about well, I was looking at the baseball standings and saw that Bethune-Cookman was having a hell of a season in the conference, and I went to go look at some of the players, and I wouldn't characterize them as white. I can't really pronounce their name. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it looks like they're mostly Caribbean, Hispanic Caribbeans at that. And
well,
so
they're down there in that area. You know, coming from Cuba, some of the best baseball players is, you know, coming out of Cuba. I think what's happening with African American baseball players, you know, I played baseball too, is that when they start taking away all the programs, you got to have money now to play. You know what I mean? It was a time that every park had a baseball league, you know, for black kids in black neighborhoods. I think you don't have that anymore, you know, and that kind of hurt us down the line, even today. You know, when you look at the big schools, you might see 1 or 2 or 3, you know, black baseball players on the team. And that's just about it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us just don't play baseball, you know, early. So, and that could be a issue and a problem. But it doesn't surprise me about Bethune-Cookman because that's the makeup of the state of Florida. You got all kind of you know, nationalities down there, you know, and when you're looking at guys from overseas, you know, like Coach Bishop was saying, shit, that's their first sport over in some countries.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, I think you got an announcement to make, Coach, before we get started, and go ahead and make it, and then we can carry on with the show.
Yeah, I you know, I got a call that Coach Wright couldn't make it. I wasn't given an excuse. It was just something came up. Unfortunately, you know, for us and our fans, that we wanted to kind of reach out and welcome him in. You know, I don't know what happened between the time I've talked to him on the phone and he called me about a link and actually coming on the show. You know, I sent the text out to him right after I got a call to ask, you know, hopefully nothing happened seriously where he couldn't make it on the show. And I'm pretty sure hopefully we can down the line, you know, I'll reach out to Cable, who's the athletic director, and maybe he can give me a reason because, you know, we owe our fans, you know. Last year we had 2 million views and we're going through the inventory now to see how many views we have, you know, and it motivates us. We're not getting paid to do this, but it motivates us, you know, to get this content out to people who you know, look like us in the HBCU family, and we owe them that. But unfortunately, hopefully nothing is majorly wrong or happened with Coach Wright, and you know, he's a part of the SWAC family now. He's the head basketball coach at Alabama State. So hopefully I can get back with him and we can have him on our show.
No doubt, Coach. No doubt, Coach. Like I say, when we hear about things that come up, the first thing we think about is, I hope everything's okay with him and his family. Right. First of all, because you know, you know that being a coach, things do come up. You know what I mean? Because you're not only responsible for you and your family. There's probably at least 15 other families on the baseball team that you have somebody on the basketball team that you're responsible for. And so we also want to make sure that, I hope nothing is going on with his players or anybody related in the program or anything like that. So we hope everyone's safe, and it's just something that is in the grand scheme of things insignificant. and that he's able to reschedule with us and come back on. So we're definitely gonna keep coaching our prayers till we get some word about.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll reach out to the athletic director, and hopefully, he can give me hope that everything's okay.
Yeah.
So that's what's important. We don't want nobody to, nobody to get hurt or hopefully anything like that.
Yeah, Coach. But let me kind of clue you in, and Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell has been part of it. To be honest with you, there's been a bit of a conversation going on around in the SWAC media in the SWAC media space, HBCU media space. And I agree with Mr. Campbell when I was talking to him prior to us going live. What we've been discussing is pretty much discussing is water wet. You know what I mean? When you talk about who's the most dominant football team in the SWAC the last 5 years, I don't think there's any. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man, to break. We had a. I don't know if y'all know, we had a death in the conference.
No, I did.
Yeah. Former head coach at Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Coach Coleman.
Coach Coleman, man, and I had an opportunity to meet him and face him and all that kind of stuff. So I want to say reach out to him, his family, the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff family as well. That you guys are in our prayers, and Coach Coleman was really a Christian and really a guy of church and that type of thing. And so we want to wish him and his family, our condolences. So I want to make sure I get that out as well.
Mr. Campbell, being the historian, what do you remember about Monty Coleman?
Hey, man, I remember Monty Coleman playing for the Redskins.
Yeah, that's what I remember about
Listen, Super Bowl champion. You know what I mean? Playing for Joe Gibbs. So that's the thing about him. When he comes home, comes back to HBCU as a coach, man, and that's why I saw it was like Coach said this ain't the first time we had players to coach for us that played in the league. Coach, everybody, all the NFL coaches like, bro, we've been doing this. So he was one of those guys. That was one of those guys that Coach talked about.
And he's the only coach in Pine Bluff to win the SWAC championship. Unbelievable. Most of his seasons were losing seasons, but he did win the championship on his winning season. So, he did a great job for Pine Bluff. And like I said, man, he's a man of God and just a great fellow to meet and talk with. And, we shared our little time together. So, again, our condolences go out to his family.
Now, Coach, was just to get some history on Pine Bluff and where if I did my research correctly, Pine Bluff was not in the SWAC when Coach Coleman played at Pine Bluff, correct?
Right. Pine Bluff, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, they were all Division II schools back in the early 80s. And then they eventually jumped into the SWAC.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe even the late 70s. Well, I know it was the late 70s for a fact. But I know when I came into the league, A&M was Division II, Pine Bluff was Division II, and Alabama State was coming into our conference because we actually put them on our schedule.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, as I was saying, there's kind of a, I don't know what you would call it, because debating whether Jackson State is the most dominant program in the SWAC in the past 5 years and currently, I don't think that's much of a debate. I think they have all the evidence to prove it.
Yeah. And it's good. And I want to get into that as well, too. And, it ain't no question, man, that Jackson State's been one of the dominant teams probably for the last 40 years when you really look at it. Have Grambling fell off? Yeah, the Gramblings fell off. And when you get that turnover, I can remember riding on the bus. We had a SWAC tour, what I'm talking about, Bishop, where they take 2 players from every team, and we travel from school to school to school. And I can remember Eddie Robinson saying, what's gonna mess this up? What's gonna mess this up is that when we start getting people in place that ain't never played the game before, you know. And I don't know if that's what it is or not, but you know that hurts the whole fabric of the school and all that good stuff. You know, ain't no question, Jackson, and that's why if you were in a conference, and Bishop can contest that when Dion came, man, you just had two great things happening. You know what I'm saying? We were giving Dion all the praise, which he did a great job, but we really should have been giving Jackson State some of the praise because we gave him the platform, the biggest platform in the SWAC. And can we say, Bishop, black college football?
Oh, well,
in our era.
I mean, it's no doubt. I mean, I told people this, listen, man, Dion is country city, just like Jackson. You couldn't have had a better, other than maybe going down to, and even Southern, I don't think, because of just the culture. Dion is not Creole, Cajun, New Orleans. He is a country dude, you know what I'm saying? But got that sit in for Florida. And that just matches Jackson's personality. So, you know, I thought that, you know, again, and I will say this too, and I will stand on this, no matter what anybody says, Florida State didn't do it.
Right.
Florida, it was HBCU. They helped him get his degree for him to get the job. Shout out to Talladega, which Coach Wright coached that, which was going to be funny that I was going to bring that up. And then Jackson State gives the opportunity. So again, if you don't have that, because you can't even coach for Talladega, you don't get the thing for Talladega.
And God, Jackson State been averaging over 20,000. They've been the #1 Division I AA program in the country. You know what I mean? And we put ourselves down. You know, we don't even recognize that as HBCUs. Jackson State, Southern been in the top 5 for 40 years that I've been around. Win, lose, or draw. You know what I'm saying? So it was a happy marriage. Jackson State took and gave Dion the platform, and Dion said, look, we going national. And that's what he brought. He brought national attention, you know, as well as Jackson State had the platform already. So it doesn't surprise me about Jackson State. We talk about the Gremlins, you know, and I told you that, you know, I told you the other day that, you know, championships start up top. They start out at the president's office. You know what I'm saying?
You are the only participant in the conference.
Everybody got to be in line. You know, the president, the AD, and the head coach. You know what I'm saying? Doug Williams came in there and won championship after championship. You know, on Doug Williams' 25th year, his 25th year of winning the Super Bowl, Rocky, you know what Gremlin does? Instead of holding some NFL fundraiser, they fired him after the 3rd game of the year.
Wow.
And the year before that, he had won a championship. He had won a SWAC championship. See, we can't do that, man. You know, we don't take advantage of those opportunities sometimes, you know, because we get too personal. You know, that's us. You know, we get too personal. And when you start getting too personal, you messing up the whole program. You know what I'm saying? And you can't shine like you can.
You know, when I look at Grambling and because let's be honest, Grambling's brand transcends HBCU sports in a manner of they were the flagship program for HBCU football. Everybody knew Grambling and the Eddie Robinson story, right? Even when I would peek in on HBCU football through people and acquaintances that I had in my life, my sister for one, and other people who I knew that were affiliated with HBCUs, I would peek in from time to time, and on 2 separate, I guess, eras or whatever, Doug Williams had won championships at Grambling. And so it kind of carried that same Eddie Robinson mystique of the G on into the 2000s with them winning championships. Now, I can tell you the first time I heard something negative about the Grambling program was in 2013 when the players boycotted, and I think they ended up forfeiting the game at Jackson State. All right. Now, you would think with something as significant as that the program would have taken a dip, but in just doing my research, they end up hiring Coach Fobbs, and he comes back and wins 2 championships back to back, 2 years after the boycott. So it almost seemed like Grambling was literally an unstoppable force in HBCU football and in the SWAC. And as we move into the 2000s, and they haven't had a winning conference record in the last 5 years, I have to ask this question: what happened to the program? Like, it seemed like a juggernaut that just couldn't be stopped, but ever since 2000, they haven't been able to get their footing. And so I asked the question yesterday, didn't get much. You gave me some context as to, what's going on with Grambling now. My deal is that, like, how did they lose their way, being that they were, and for the most part, was the flagship program in HBCU football?
One thing about it is when politics start getting into coaching, which it is now. If you notice, championship programs, coach, don't get rid of their winning coach. Now, he might leave, but they don't get rid of their winning coach. They work whatever out. Doug Williams probably should have still been at Grambling if he wanted to. See, he had political problems then, and then that's when he left. And we'll have him on the show, and I've talked to him several times on the show, and we can bring him on the show. You know what I'm saying? He won the national title back in 2000, 2001, somewhere in there, or 99. And then he came back and won it again. Then we get Coach Fobbs. Coach Fobbs did a hell of a job of coaching. And then, you have a down year and then you run him off. That ain't Grambling football. That ain't Alabama football. That ain't championship caliber of the politics that goes on behind closed doors. Here's the other thing that I noticed in the SWAC. When the SWAC hires SWAC people, coach, they're better off. When you look at programs, and white PWI programs too, when they hire their own, they have winning programs. Like the University of Miami, when they were rolling. You know what I mean? They hired their own. Then they brought a guy back, right? He went to the national championship. When you hire your own, and that mystique of your own, you have better programs. When you bring people from the outside, they come in with I'm going to show y'all how to do it. I've heard that so many times in Texas Southern. I was there under 2 or 3 different coaches, and every time they'll come in, instead of building off of what you have, you lose tradition.
Well, Coach, let me play devil's advocate, since we got a little time tonight. And have a little fun with you. If I said, and again, I'm not saying I disagree, but we have a little fun. Nick Saban wasn't from the SEC. Kirk Cignetti wasn't a Big Ten guy. What about situations like that?
Well,
Sark down at Texas. He didn't play in the SEC.
I don't understand what.
Well, you're saying when you bring your own. I'm saying I'm showing you where the own.
HBCU.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just asking. No, I'm asking the question. So you're saying on HBCU that applies. I'm just asking the question because I'm just using those examples.
Yeah,
and things like that. So that's why
let me say this too. And I'm not necessarily saying just the football coach. I'm saying maybe the president, maybe the athletic directors from that university. There's somebody on the campus that should be the matriarch of that campus. Because let me say this, about winning, man, it's about building. It ain't about tearing down and starting over. It's about building. And if you ain't got people in them places, then you you're running like on a treadmill. You're not growing, you're not moving forward. So Yeah, Nick Saban won everywhere he's been. Same thing as McNetty. He won everywhere he been. Same thing as Tremaine Jackson. He's won everywhere he been. Coach Broadway has won everywhere he's been. There's some guys that have a winning formula. We talk about it on our show that, and especially when we look at Southern University shouldn't be going out trying to find a first-year coach. Man, they average 18,000 fans a game. They got a great program. They should go out and go look for a guy that got some championships behind his belt. We ain't got to start over. So I think, and that's where it comes about when I talked about president, AD, coach. Everything is in line on our program is important. This is what we want to do.
Coach, I go back to something you said. Now, this was in 2024 when you said this. And Steve McNair was, excuse me, not Steve, I apologize.
Fred
McNair was potentially the hiring person, the person who was going to be hired at Texas Southern.
Yeah.
And you brought up the name of a young man that I had not heard before. And you said, hey, who they need to hire is Tremaine Jackson over at Valdosta State. And he's not only an alumnus, he can, he's from Houston. Right?
Right.
Now, again, later on that year, he would play in later on that year, because you got to understand the Texas Southern hiring cycle went all the way into 2024. So later on that year, Tremaine Jackson would run the table and end up in the SWAC, end up in the Division II championship. And of course, we all very much more acquainted with him now as the Prairie View head coach. But my point in bringing this up, Coach, is like if your alma mater had just called you as a esteemed alumni of Texas Southern and said, hey, we got this job open. Who are some guys, some young guys that are up and comers that could probably do a good job here at Texas Southern? Rather than them calling you or maybe not, maybe even you, maybe some other esteemed alumni, rather than call you, who is a championship coach, they went with their own, way of doing things, and hired Chris Dishman, who's been okay as a coach, but he certainly didn't make the splash that Tremaine Jackson did. And I'm gonna swing this to Mr. Campbell because I think this is important, considering how everything has turned out for Alcorn, Texas Southern, with that situation. Do you think if we went back to those moments in 2023 when it was time to renew Fred McNair's contract and TSU was looking for a coach, if Fred McNair had been rehired and Texas Southern had hired a guy like Tremaine Jackson, could the face of their program be different right now than what they are?
Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about the root cause. The reason why Fred was not at Alcorn because of money. The reason why he's not at Texas Southern is because of money. That was the root of the issue. So again, Fred wanted to get a pay raise. Alcorn said, we're not going to pay you that. Probably couldn't afford that. He went down to Texas Southern. He wanted to get $330. Texas Southern, we can't afford that. So when you look at these things, we got to talk about the business aspect of how some of these things happen. Because Fred McNair didn't want to leave Alcorn. I'm pretty sure Alcorn didn't want to leave. But again, I'm not mad at him. He's like, listen, I've been here. I want to get a raise. They couldn't do it. Texas Southern thought they had a deal. They couldn't push that through that $330. And guess what? Chris Dishman, I know he's not making $330.
He make it $317.
Yeah, okay, he make it $317.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So my thing is, could it have changed? Yeah, it could have changed. Hell, if Willie would have stayed, you know what I'm saying? What would the SWAC look like? you know, if we could have paid him the money that he wanted. But, you know, I think, man, things just happen the way they happen. You know, Tremaine Jack, this ain't no secret. He applied for the FAMU job. If we had interviewed everybody that applied, he could have been the FAMU coach before he even got down to Prairie View. You know?
Well, I'm going to take one out of your book, Campbell. Florida A&M hard championship coaches, coach. Y'all haven't until this last incident came about, and then I think one time before. No, you guys took Billy Joe, who was national championship coach. Right? Yeah. Rudy Hubbard, national championship coach. Right? You see what I'm saying? But we got some programs and some people that's not aligned. You know what I mean? Like Coach Golf got on our show and said, the president said, you the AD, you handle athletics, you go find us a coach. He didn't have to use street committee. He didn't have to use none of that. And some of these schools, these schools just don't go out and hire championship coaches. For some reason, I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the politics. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Texas Southern, we've been down for years and years and years. You go back and look at the coaches we've hired, man. It's you know, you know, Steve Wilson, unfortunately for Steve, I know he won a championship in the 90s, in the mid-90s, man. But, you know, by the time he got to Texas Southern, he was coming out of the dust. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that's where it is. But everything starts from the president's office. All of a sudden, you know, they starved my man. What's my man that didn't want to come on our show? I can't even think. Graves. They starved Graves. You know what I mean? They starved him and his staff. You know what I'm saying? Then next day, you know, out the president's office, they got $2 million. You know, paying him $400, hire whole staff, just open up the floodgates for him. Makes sense out of that, guys. I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to get back in the old story. I mean, with my brothers at Alabama State, you know, we won 2 back-to-back Eastern championships. The administration went and hired an investigator to investigate they winning coach. Campbell, who does that? Who does that? You know, we do some wild things in this HBCU realm. We do, man. And I've seen it, man. I've been a part of some of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of where we are. You know, Prairie View, you know, went out and got a super president. She hired a great AD, man. The AD know that, look, I'm going to get the best coach out of here, you know, and this guy's it, you know. Here, let me give you guys an example. Let's say Texas Southern. And believe me, guys, I ain't against nobody, but here we are. If we're going to hire Chris Dishman at Texas Southern, he's doing a great job. He got a winning season the second year, man. Look like we going places. But if you're going to get a guy with no head coaching background, why not bring alumnus in there? You know, we have Brett Maxey. We got the assistant head coach at Prairie View and Daryl Colbert out there. You know what I mean? We had guys that's in
KJ Black. Oh,
yeah,
no, Texas. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
KJ
no,
Black.
but KJ
No,
Black.
I'm sorry.
Bring
That's
KJ
Prairie View.
Black.
Yeah, y'all wouldn't have went wrong with hiring KJ down there.
No. So if we gonna go out and get somebody, then get one of us. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Hey guys, I want to break in here a minute and let everybody know you can call in. You can call in at 760-548-9951. The numbers at the bottom of the screen. The phone lines are open. So if you have something you want to say, you have a point, we're kind of freestyling here tonight. We had a interview scheduled with Coach Chris Wright, Alabama State's new head men's basketball coach. For unknown reasons, something came up and he wasn't able to make it tonight. We hope that we can get him back on here really, really, really soon. He's a pretty impressive guy, and considering what he's been able to do at the NAIA level at Langston, and we believe that Alabama State hired them a fine coach and a winning coach to continue their program. In fact, they won a conference tournament just 1 year ago. And so hopefully Coach Wright can get those guys back on track and have a good season at Alabama State. So, but again, we want to send a shout out to Coach Chris Wright, and then hope that everything is well with him, his family, and his Alabama State family as well.
Yeah. Campbell, come on back on here. Campbell.
I'm getting texts from people asking me questions.
Let me say this, Campbell,
go ahead.
And you can attest to this. Y'all hire your own, right? You just hired great quarterback, handsome, great family. Just tell people how much money y'all don't raise, Coach. Y'all ain't kicked the ball off. $250,000?
Over that. in less than 40 days.
So why
40 days and 40 nights, Coach.
Paulo, are you there?
Yeah.
40 days and 40 nights.
Why we need to go somewhere else?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna bring you on in just a second, okay?
But go ahead.
No, you good, bro.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, bro, we definitely going to get him on. We're working on. I'm working on that. Absolutely.
Hey, we got a caller on. If y'all ready to take it,
let's do it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Hey, caller, you're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Man, look, it's Doc Holliday, HBCU Overdrive, calling straight out of Oak Cliff, Texas, baby.
Oak Cliff, Texas. Hey, that's not far from me,
Yes,
Doc.
sir. I know you in Waco. Hey, did you go to university? You went to Waco High.
I went to Waco High. We won games.
See, you know what? That's bogus right there. But no, man. Hey, I had a chance to listen while I was at work earlier today. I had a chance to listen to your show from last night, and what you did on there. You put out some good points, some great gems, and for all the for people that's hating on what you put out there. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. As far as being having a dominant program with both Jackson State and FAMU. So I understand where the reason why you put that out there, because people were talking about it.
Yeah.
And said Brad's giving y'all the Brass Monkey of the Brass Monkey Award for the week. I guess that's what they call it over there on the 12 channel. But no, you put out some good stuff though, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Hey, I just put out the facts, and like Mr. Campbell said earlier in the show, I was simply saying that water was wet, and by pointing out the fact that Jackson State is the most dominant program in the SWAC the last 5 years. But one of the more interesting points that I was able to kind of discover through evaluate everybody's conference schedule and record over the last 5 years, to find out that a school like Grambling is closer to Valley than they are Jackson State. Even though they have two victories against Jackson State the past 2 seasons, when you look at their overall record, they're much closer to Valley than they are Jackson State. And so, that doesn't seem that that's the case, but that's truly the case when you break down those schedules. And so
over on that west side, Coach, because that's what you basically talk about, right? On the west side, you got what? Southern, Prairie View, Grambling, then Mississippi Valley, Texas Southern, and Pine.
No, Mississippi Valley is on the east.
Right. Oh, that's right. They're on the east. They're on the east. Right.
So the two programs,
Grambling even down.
The two programs' fortunes that changed pre-COVID, post-COVID, and I'll say two programs, their fates have changed. Grambling and Alcorn, their fates have changed since COVID. They are not the same programs that they were prior to COVID currently. And that's just the truth. Now, Alcorn moved to the west. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that? They moved to the west?
They moved to the west after when we did conference realignment.
Yeah, when Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M came in.
Yeah, they moved to the West, which you would think, considering the East wasn't the East participant in the SWAC championship. Didn't they have a pretty dominant record against the SWAC West when Alcorn was over on the East?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That Alcorn was Southern Kryptonite for a minute. If you think about it, Alcorn going to the Celebration Bowl, what, 3 out of 4 years? And then, of course, COVID comes, they move over to the West, and then you see, of course, like you said yesterday, when Prime comes in, you get the fan base going. They win the East, they win the whole SWAC, they go to the Celebration Bowl. Of course, we know what happened after that. But at the end of the day, like you said, we did, Jackson State doing it with 2 coaches. And the only time we slipped up, and we really wanted to slip up, was in 23 when FAMU went to the conference championship and they won the whole thing and went to the Celebration Bowl and won the whole shebang. But to do it with 2 coaches in that time span, in 5 years, it still says a lot about your program.
Yeah. Well,
let me ask you this, Mr. Campbell. Coach, were you saying something?
Well, I was just saying that, they got coach over there and, he won 7 games this year, in his second year. So, look to this year that maybe he got it going in the right direction.
Who is that?
Coach Joseph.
Oh, you talking about, but Coach, I think that, like, in my opinion, though, that winning record is a bit of a fugazi, Coach. I think in the SWAC, let's just be honest. In the SWAC, to truly get a sense of what a team really is, you can just really look at their SWAC record, right? And that tells you what a team really is. And Grambling, though they beat Jackson State the last 2 years, they were 3-5 1 year and 4-4 the next. Coach, that at Grambling, that doesn't cut it, does it?
Well, you got to look at the situation. You got a new coach in there. He has made some improvement, but if you want to, go by that Grambling, because every year, nobody knew that Indiana was going to win the national title. So it ain't necessarily about the helmet. It's more so about the coach that had the opportunity to try to turn the program around. And so I can't take that away from him. I got it. The G on the helmet, the mascot don't win games. The coach is the one that wins the game. So I understand where you're going with it at. Fanfare, yeah, that sounds good. But I don't think it's fair to throw it out on Coach Joseph and his staff because he is moving the program forward. But I get what you're saying.
Hey, Rocky, listen.
Coach, what?
Go ahead,
There was a time where
that last comment too.
It was a couple of games in there with Grambling that they ain't had that G on their helmet.
Hey, look here. Hey, my man, boy, some folks about to get fired too when that happened. I remember talking with Doug Williams saying, man, if they don't get that G back on that goddamn helmet.
State Fair Classic, and my mom, so Mr. Campbell and Rocky met my mother when we came to Tallahassee 23. And she looked at me, she said, talking about my government name. She said, David. She said, they don't have no G on their helmet. I said, no. I said, he took it off. I said, why he take it off? He said they weren't playing like they weren't playing like Grambling me. So she's like, oh, he's gonna be fine in the next year.
Yes, sir.
Look what happened.
Yes, sir.
What happened?
Hey, again, that's what I'm talking about, hiring folks from the outside. You don't do your program like that, man. Can you imagine putting some red in Florida A&M's uniform? Campbell he ain't been no sleep. He get in his car that night and drive down there.
Hey, Doc, I appreciate you calling in, my brother.
Hey,
And,
I want to
appreciate
send
you,
a
man.
shout out.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Send a shout out.
Nah.
People was asking about Quentin Morgan on the chat, man, and hopefully he gets on. I had a conversation with him a couple weeks ago. He's doing well as a coach, and I really feel that he should be on somebody's sideline. So we're pushing and praying.
Who is that right there?
Quentin Morgan. He was the head coach at Langston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good guy. Now
Yeah.
Rocky, listen. And my phone is blowing up. And I got a direct line to them G-men. And them G-men say you use select here. So now I literally got this link. And the G-men wanted to show you what they said, what dominance looks like recently. So I'm gonna share this. So I want you to see something. Because somebody they said, tell that dude that don't have no swag hours. He said they saw the show. And they said, listen, they said, we gonna give you a grant. Now, this is what I'm just saying, somebody from Grambling sent me this. Just sent me this. They said, I want this link to be put up, Mr. Campbell. So hold on, wait a minute. I want to make sure people can see this, Rocky. Because they say, Rocky, there we go. Let me make this big. Okay, Rocky, you see that?
Yes.
Okay, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2005, 2008, 2011, 2016, 2017. My Grambling folks say, tell Rocky to keep adding before he get the Grambling. That's what they said. They said if you had did your show a few years earlier, he said you just came late. Now that's what my Grambling guy just texted that. They said that you have come late to the party, and that for you to sit back there and want to act like, he said, anytime in the SWAC you could do this. Now, Grambling my people. Now, I'm from Jackson, but we equal opportunity here. So they just wanted to point out, because you compare, they said, how dare you compare us to Valley? So I'm just telling you what the folks with the G on, they just said, folks got to catch up with the count. Because they said they've done this before. So
get
I'm
on
just showing you, Rocky.
Get on SWAC.
So, now, listen, and this ain't me. But listen, everybody know Graham, them my folks down there. Them my folks, they watch the show, they text me all the time, and they don't mind. They say, listen, because one thing, and I'm gonna tell you what my boy Graham, he said, hey man, we see the Prairie View talk. Grambling people don't do no big talk. He said, Mr. Cam, we don't do no big talk. We just do championships. So I'm just saying, said 5 years. Hold on, wait a minute now. Hold on. That's 1, 2, 3 in a row, 4 out of 5, another one, and then back to backs. What do you have to say to that?
That is what I grew up knowing Grambling to be, which is the most dominant program in HBCU football. Like, that's what I grew up understanding. The history of Eddie Robinson, the history of Doug Williams, and I didn't know at the time, but Doug Williams had a break, and then he came back, won championships. And then Melvin Spears won championships. And
that's 4 different coaches right there, Coach.
Yeah, and I met Broderick Fobbs when his dad was here at Baylor when he was a very young man. He may have been a GA at Grambling then or somewhere, and then he would later become the head coach. So
now he went to Grambling now. The son too. The father and the son.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the mother taught there for almost 40 years.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure they from Monroe.
The mother was a super nice lady. Yeah. Super nice lady.
So that kind of solidifies what I talk about hiring your own. You know what I mean? I just want to put that out there.
So my point is saying that I didn't say what I said to disparage Grambling. I'm just saying it's shocking to me. If you take a snapshot of the last 5 years, how close they are to Valley. Like, that is shocking to me.
Now, Rocky, I understood what you were saying, but when you kept saying that they are, close to Mississippi Valley, bro, I'll be honest, man, it could never register with me. You're my guy. You know what I mean?
Let me just put this back up here one more time. Let me just put this back up here one more time. Then I'm gonna leave it alone. Valley could never.
Look.
And Rocky, you see this? You see these wins?
Yeah.
Man,
Zeros
that's like
behind the
somebody-
Rocky.
That's somebody telling me, Coach, we want you to cook chitlins. I've been like, let me, I don't. I just couldn't fathom, you know. I see what you were talking about, but it was just.
Well, let me say this. I've heard now in this. Now let's be honest. When you talk about the Blue Bloods, the history that you guys have given me, I've understood that Jackson State has had a down period. Southern has had a down period. Grambling is now experiencing a down period. You understand what I'm saying? I understand that each one of these blue blood programs have had their time in the valley.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead.
Let's just talk. Jackson State was the first one when they hired and went outside and hired a guy. They hired two of them. They were terrible. Same thing with Grambling when they hired Coach Jackson. I'll say it. It was a bad hire, whatever they want to say. So that's Jackson State and Grambling. That's where they went wrong at, man. It's when they went outside and brought somebody that didn't know the culture of the school. You know what I mean? So that's what happened.
Mr. Campbell, let me ask you, when y'all were in the valley, was it close to valley?
You talking about our 8 years of in the wilderness?
Yes.
Well, I tell you one thing, and this is facts. We were 1-10 the year before Willie got there.
Coach, wasn't that y'all? Who was before Willie? Who was?
Not Joe Taylor.
No.
Ain't he a singer?
No. Let me. Now you got. I can't
see one thing about Florida.
Yeah, I can't even remember the guy. I can't even remember the guy's name.
Rocky. Florida and them self-destructed when they got Billy Joe, and then they were winning championships, and then they wanted to go Division 1A, and they wanted to change the schedule. Some board member talking with my resources.
Alex Wood is what someone put in.
Alex Wood.
Yeah, Alex Wood. Alex Woods and Coach Bell. And them good dudes. First of all, they're good men. I know them personally. They're good men. But them coming into our conference, man, they were not ready, man. They were not ready. They were trying to bring that PWI way into those schools. Oh man, it was a sad outcome, Coach. It was a sad outcome.
Now let me ask you this here, Coach. Because you worked at Southern, you actually were part of the staff that pulled Southern out of the valley.
Yes, sir.
When they were in the valley, was it bad for Southern when they were in the valley?
Yes. So, but Southern wasn't one of those bluebird programs back then. Southern, when we won the championship, Southern hadn't won a SWAC championship in 34 years. I can remember it. So they were just a team. You know what I mean? Every year they might.
Did you say they were just a team?
Southern, yeah. Southern was just.
Well, I just want to say this disclaimer. Coach Cole said that. I didn't.
Gee, I can back it up. I was on the staff. I was a part of it. I seen it. You know, Southern wasn't no ass kicking team. They were always right there in the middle of you know what was going on. You could pull up the record. You know what I'm saying? When we got there, when Pete Richardson got there, that's when he took off. 17 years, they was either going to be number one or number two in the conference. He done a great super job. And you see Doug done won some of those championships, and Southern got a couple. You know, I got a ring. You know, we won a championship. We didn't win it back to back though. I think we won it, then we were off, and then I think they won it again. Or at least, and then Doug came in, and then Doug them took over for a minute.
You know, the interesting thing in evaluating Southern is that they had a rough year last year, but when you think about it, with all of the turmoil they've had in their football program the last 5 years, they are still at the top of the conference when you talk about their record. right? They're still at the top of the conference, top 4 or 5 team, even with that turmoil. So there's something there at Southern. There's something there. There's something there at Southern. If they can just get that thing moving down the road.
Look, I'm a coach, and I could say it. It's just that the East Side was just that. Let me make sure I'm politically correct.
You're talking about the West Side.
Yeah, the West Side. I don't know what I'm thinking. The West Side was just that. It never had a foundation. It never had a strong coach over there, a foundation. When they left, when my man they left Southern and went to Norfolk State,
Odoms.
Odoms, that was a good coach. You know what I mean? Fred McNair started changing, and that's when the other the white guy left from Alcorn State. They wasn't filling those positions with strong guys. I could say that. Bubba, Bubba came off the staff, and took over the Prairie View job, and he actually won 2 back-to-back East championships. You know what I'm saying? But were they strong wins, or was it somebody had to win on that side? You know what I mean? Why not me? You know what I mean? So it just wasn't that. When you look at our conference right now, you got Coach Robinson, been there longer than anybody. And he had came in there, Jay Hobson, right? He had came in there, with no experience, but we all knew that he, was a cerebral player, and he's a smart man, and, and he's alumnus of the university, so he's right now the godfather of the league. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you turn around and Tremaine Jackson is got more wins and got more experience as a head coach than everybody. You know what I mean? Is it safe to say that as well?
Yes.
Guys' first year in, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things going on in our conference.
Coach, to be honest with you, the SWAC is littered with first time. The SWAC job is their first coaching job. Like the guy UAPB, the guy Mickey, though Mickey had an interim position anyway. He had an interim position.
Let me say this, and Campbell, you appreciate that. You made me think of something, Rocky. We talk about how Jackson State has dominated, right? They hire within the most of the time. Florida A&M hire within. Florida A&M go get championship coaches. You know what I'm saying? Alabama State, they kept Coach Marker for a long time. Coach Dixon came in, then they bring Coach Cole in. He win championships. Controversy. They bring in my coach up at Tennessee State,
Barlow.
Controversy. They bring in Jenkins. Controversy. You know what I mean? Texas Southern, we all over the damn place. We so political, man. It's freaking terrible. Prairie View, 80 losing season. Never hire a winning coach. This is the first time. I'm gonna say this is the first time in 40 years, Bishop, to correct me, that they've actually guy came in with a winning record.
Who was that?
Tremaine,
right.
everybody, can we say?
I don't know what did Willie do? What did Willie do his year?
Willie was just an assistant and came in.
No. Willie had 3 seasons at Prairie View.
Where did he come from? Was he a coordinator?
No, he was a coordinator. He was a coordinator.
Right.
So he out the picture.
Okay.
All right. Pine Bluff. They never go out and get a championship coach for some reason. So where am I going? I'm going with a pattern. Winners win, losers lose. Mississippi Valley, come on, man. The only winning coach they hired was Clemegy, and that was at the end of his career. And he couldn't, fathom in getting the guys around him that could turn that program around. So when you look at our conference, the winners go and win, and the losers Stay losers.
Hey, Coach, this is part of the PV12. The person that
Oh,
said
that's my
Prairie View was
guy,
the anchor of the
Coach
SWAC. He said he's letting you know. I guess Coach Northern, when he came in, I guess he had a winning record at Prairie View.
Okay,
I guess
Before he got to Prairie View. That's what the coach was saying. Before he got to Prairie View.
Before he got there.
He didn't come there as a head coach.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to clear that up. Coach, I don't wait a minute. Hold on, Coach. Wait real quick. I don't want you to be the brass monkey of the day for something that got misquoted. You know what I'm saying? Even though over there sipping on syrup, we win it every week. So I didn't want you to break our streak because I think Zoe is going to be Zoe is working strong to keep the lead. And I don't want you to mess that up for Zoe because I'm trying to go back to back. Okay.
Yeah. No, Coach Sutton, I coach Coach Northern. Cerebral player, super person. You know what I'm saying? But I was saying that when you have an opportunity to hire in these losing programs, perennial losing programs, none of them necessarily go out and say, let's just go find us a winning coach, a winning head coach with some championships behind his belt as the head coach. We don't ever do it for some reason. I wonder why. Can you agree with me on that, Coach Campbell?
But here's the thing. But you know what though? You know what? It's funny. But as you well know, only one person can win a championship every year. So the problem is, it's not that many that had that petty. Coach, listen. You think about this. Look at how many coaches have coached in the SWAC, and how many coaches have only won SWAC championships. You wanted a few. And I probably did quick math.
Well, why am I out here talking to y'all and not getting ready for spring?
Coach, they say you don't want you won't let the guy wear the braids no more and the flip flops. So that's what they say. You're not gonna let him wear the braids and the dress, Coach.
Look, Coach Campbell, I just talked to my brother. He at home painting the wall, man. Getting his yard straightened up for the summer for our family union. No, I'm just bull crapping, man. But it's some game. Quentin Morgan out there. Quentin Morgan out there right now at Langston, from Langston.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna tell you a secret. And Rocky knows it because Rocky did the graphic. Trust me, there's gonna be some opportunities by the end of the year for some coaches. I can guarantee you that because like I said, we ain't gonna hurt nobody's feelings. But I tell you what, when the season roll around, there's some folks already know, and y'all know I already got the background ready that the U-Haul gonna be crunk up. So
yeah, see Heisman Northern, Coach Northern, he's a SWAC guy, man, through and through. Smart, intelligent, young. He can get it done, man. But we into the NFL, we into this pro thing now, man. And guys, I know I'm gonna pivot for a second. Man, let me tell you something about Hahn, a guy ain't never been a head football coach, man. It's in some situations, if you were on the staff and the head coach league, that's a great job. But when you ain't never been a coordinator, some of them ain't never been assistant coach, I can't gravitate to that. I can't hang on that. Because here's my example. If you jump off a 50-story building, the rule says that your ass gonna die. Right? You're gonna die. You know what I mean? Is the mug gonna limp off from there? So what am I saying? The rule says if you ain't never been a head football coach and never been assistant coach, you're not gonna be successful. You just not. You know what I'm saying?
Coach, let me ask you this question then. With that being said, and I'm saying this respectfully, how important is this season for Coach Eddie Robinson then? To your point.
Well, that was a political hire. And he's got the right people in place in line. Him and the president is in line. The AD, Coach Cable, they all in line. And they all in line, not necessarily because, they truly like, they got relationships. They got former relationships. And I think Coach Robinson is on the right page. I think he's moving in the right direction. They got a good following down there. So that's one of those Deion Sanders relationships. You know what I'm saying? That's one of them moves. They all in line with each other. I think I'm
gonna say this about Coach Robinson. He's on the right trajectory, guys. Like he's one of those guys that coaching. Now, let's be honest. He's coached against Deion Sanders, T.C. Taylor, and Willie Simmons. That's pretty stiff competition, guys.
There always is an exception. They always Negro would get off the ground after jumping off 50 and limp off.
No. What I'm simply saying, Coach. On the Tremaine Jackson isn't coaching against those guys.
Yeah.
There's no Deion Sanders on the West. There's no T.C. Taylor on the West. There's no Willie Simmons on the West, unless I missed him. Is there a Willie over there, Mr. Campbell?
No.
Can't find him.
Coach, he came in and won his first year. He went to the national championship. But what I'm saying is that system that we're getting into of hiring pro coaches, it won't work in no business, that I know of. In no business.
Now
you don't give a guy who was the assistant principal of a elementary school and then give him the presidency of a college, and you gonna think it's gonna work? No.
But let's be honest. You got a guy over, and I want to bring this guy in because he's somebody I really like as a coach. We had a chance to interview him a couple of times. Sam Shade. You take Coach Shade. I really like Coach Shade as a coach. But he's in a division where he's coaching against a seasoned T.C. Taylor now. He's coaching against a seasoned Eddie Robinson now. He's also going to be coaching against Quinn Gray, who's led by his alma mater. That's pretty stiff competition.
No question.
And you got a guy that's at a non-traditional power. Go ahead.
Guess what? They got a coach against him too now. He's seasoned too. He don't won a state title. He don't went to Miles, turned around and won the SIC title. He's played big time football. He's a cerebral guy.
Coach, but the fact of the matter is, Coach, in his first year in the conference, he went 1-7.
Yeah. Well, now, on his defense, he lost his starting quarterback, who's coming back now for his 10th year.
How many quarterbacks have Eddie Robinson lost since he has been the head coach at Alabama State? You can't, Coach. You're gonna run, Coach. What I'm simply saying is, you have to produce at some point. You have to produce at some point if you're that guy as a coach.
All right. Now, let me say this: if you were talking after year 2 and we still there, then I'm all on your own. It's his honeymoon year. You know what
Coach,
I mean?
he was supposed to be coaching in a footprint where he was familiar, where he had support by the Alabama community, where he had access to some of the best athletes and some quality coaching that he could bring on staff.
I'm gonna take one out of your book. He coached against T.C. Taylor. He coached against Eddie Robinson. He coached against Tremaine Jackson. They would coach. Of course, I talked to some of the guys when I was in the business as a coach. We wouldn't have let no Deion Sanders come in and talk shit and then win. It was. I remember when I was even a player when we brought in Lionel Taylor. And if you guys, the audience, don't know Lionel Taylor, he's in the Hall of Fame, first African American offensive coordinator. He was with the Super Bowls. Some of you guys are a little older. They won 4 Super Bowls in a row. He went on to the Rams. They ended up playing. What I'm giving you is that this guy he was a hell of a coach. But at the time, he was coaching against Eddie Robinson.
Hey, Coach, he had this old short quarterback from Dayton, Ohio, trying.
Let me tell you something. He was coaching against them greats, man. He was coaching against greats. And let me tell you, Eddie Robinson, Bishop, you know this, they were trying to kill us. I mean, they were trying to beat us 100-0. It wasn't against the kids. It was against him.
See, you know what though? Hold on. I want you to keep cooking, Coach. But that, to me, that mentality that goes down. So this is what I hope. So Tremaine Jackson comes in here, right? And smokes everybody the first year. Goes and again, first time a road team wins. If I'm every one of those coaches, I'm trying to kill Preview next year. I'm serious because PV people get me mad because you're gonna say, because first, you know what people gonna say? We let PV do this to us. We're Grambling. We're Grambling, and they're talking about the state fair class is their thing now.
Yeah.
You gonna tell me that Grambling mentality? Southern, they went down there and said, "Happy homecoming." He went down there and went to Jackson.
Yeah.
And what, man? Listen, those 3 schools alone, back when we grew up, Coach, you knew when they played that game again because you already knew what was gonna be.
No.
You already
He
knew.
did happy homecoming at Southern, didn't he?
Let me tell you
Happy
something.
homecoming.
The coaches, W.C. Gordon, Marino Castle, Coach Washington, man, they was not going for that shit. Ain't nobody coming to no conference and you talking about winning the conference. No, that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you hit me with this Sam Shade deal, man, you know, honeymoon, let's give him a break, man. He lost his starting quarterback early in the year. You know, he had to go through all that. You know, we'll see.
I think Sam gonna get 7 wins this year.
Coach, let me ask
you know what? I looked at their schedule, Rocky. We were talking about this, and you know, I'm a big Sam Shade fan, and I'm telling you, if he breaks right, he could get to 7 this year. He can get to 7. So I'm just saying. So listen, you know, like I say, Sam, you know, we love you. Know, we just wait for that brass money to come out. But this is what, Coach, I just got a question for you. And I don't know if you want to show. I think that was our show. What is your definition of an era? How many years is an era? I'm just really confused about this. No, you know what? So hold on, he said a new era. So that means starting. So I want to correct myself. Even though they said this is their era, said is saying a new era, so the beginning. So I want to correct that. But I want to ask honestly, what is your definition of an era? How many years does an era make to you, Coach?
I know I was on the show, Coach. We
okay.
Yeah, we kind of talked through it.
Yeah, that was me and you, right. Rocky one, though. That was me and you, right?
Yeah. But you know, I mean, it's gonna be real interesting, man. You know, how long Tremaine stays and that, because if he stays a while, it's gonna be tough on some people, man. That's all I can say. It's gonna be tough on some brothers, man. And if you ain't got your game right, man, it's gonna be tough because they starting to raise money over there, man. And they what's that? NIL is up to 200,000, and you know they got an athletic director and Coach Golf who's doing a great job on the outside. You know, they got a president that's stepping back and say, y'all do y'all business, man. And that's where it starts from. And I look, I can't say enough, man. If I'm gonna put my money on, I'm gonna put my money on Preview.
Now, Rocky, I'm gonna go back to your nice little cute little graphic. All the Jack State folks that I saw them. You know, they were a broke clock and be right. So they were with you, Rocky. They won't be with you next week. But they was, hey, Coach, they posted a little graphic, even though I was gonna mess with them about it. But now, Rocky says that the era is 10 years. We 5 years in deep already have an era, right? Are we not? With what you saying? So I'm just saying, Rocky said Jackson halfway through the era, said.
But if you do that, Prairie View, it is the era. How many East championships they don't won? Even though this team lost, this team one year they went from the bottom to the top in just a weekend. Texas Southern lost, A&M lost, Mississippi Valley won. Next thing you know, Prairie View was the championships. I was like, damn, why did that happen?
You know, Coach, the one thing that what I wanted to do is break down the 5 years is to kind of, because first off, I'm honest with myself. I don't have the historical context to be able to do anything prior to 2000, right?
Somebody said
that's why I showed you Grand. That's why the Grand folks texted me.
But I admitted that. But we have to acknowledge during this 5 years. That's why I asked the question. I asked the honest question: had any team had a 5-year run like this since the year 2000? And I'm glad you brought up that graphic to show me that Grambling had a couple runs that you could put in a 5-year period.
In the early 2000s and the mid. Prairie View got to be somewhere up there in the last 5 years. They went to 2 championships and got the hell beat out of them.
They're right behind FAMU. So if you had to rank them, it would be Jackson State, FAMU, Prairie View right behind them.
Wow.
And surprisingly, I believe it's Southern, right? Because I don't have the graphic right.
Well, guys, if that's the case, then Prairie View's era, it's they era. Just mentioning their name. Come on, Cam. Just mentioning their name.
This is the problem. See, this is why I say. Here's the thing, and this is why numbers can make however you want to look. Because I could say in that same era, we got the second best record in the SWAC, and we actually won a national championship. And we have beaten everybody. We have a better record against everybody other than Jackson State in the SWAC during that fight. Ain't nobody got a winning record against us other than Jackson State during that era.
Ain't nobody arguing that point either.
Well, no, I'm just saying anybody can make something look the way they want it to look. That's why my Grambling people were mad at Rocky, because listen, let me tell you something. And let me just get on my soapbox. Central people like to do this. They like to find a little year period when they had some winning, and then they say, oh, we were great. No, you were great for that little bit of time. But Bethune-Cookman does the same thing. They beat us 10 years in a row, coach. You know what? Before then, they only had beaten us 8 times out of 60.
Right.
And we still up 45 to 18.
Well, you can do the same thing with Grambling and Prairie View in the State Fair Classic. I mean, when you look at the numbers in 50 years, Prairie View maybe only beat Grambling 15 times.
No, probably less than that.
And most of them it's been lately. But
so again, you can take something, and that's why people, when they have these arguments, which it's good for us to talk about, is whatever data set you want to use, because I can take a data set and totally prove. Because I can say, well, you say I can go, a whole generation. For a generation, Grambling has been the dominant team in the SWAC. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And flip that just that quick. That's what Grambling people are saying. So it all comes to ebbs and flows. What my biggest thing is, and what I love the Prairie View people out there doing their chirping. I think it's hilarious for me.
We got a caller, guys, whenever y'all want to take
No, go ahead, Rocky, go ahead.
Caller, you're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Benjamin. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Benjamin?
So I've actually been listening and
hold up, Benjamin. Hold up, Benjamin.
Yeah.
See how I can listen to his diction and tell that he's a Prairie View guy. Because these Prairie View guys know how to speak. They must take public speaking 4 years in a row. But go ahead, Benjamin.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be transparent. Right now I'm kind of sad. I'm dealing with some other issues. But that being said, I last saw y'all when we were in Atlanta. And Rocky, I was a little against you a little bit. And because I feel like you came in the system and you kind of bought into the foolishness of listening to what people were talking about. And you didn't really do your due diligence kind of on the history. But putting that aside, Mr. Campbell, I'm not going to call you the brass monkey like Sid did, because I actually spoke to you after the game and shook your hand and so forth. But what I would like to tell you is either you and other SWAC schools like to talk about Prairie View when we were down. And now that we're up, you like to talk about Prairie View when we're up. So either make your mind up and argue the point when we're down and continue to bash, or I was listening to one of your FAMU shows where one of your alumni members said about FAMU. I don't remember the guy's name. I don't know if he's an attorney, but he's on one of y'all shows. I didn't call in. I was just listening.
Yep.
And he said, damn, I'm really tired of all these schools trying to bash FAMU. So this is to you, Mr. Campbell.
Yes, sir.
If you don't want people to talk about the negativity that goes on at FAMU, stop talking about Prairie View being when we were at our lowest point, and you too jealous to talk about Prairie View about what's going on now. So it's like, damn, they damned if you do, damned if you don't. You want to bring up when, you know, y'all love to say when we were y'all's favorite team for y'all's homecoming. But now that we whooping y'all's ass, you don't have you want to kind of get upset when people catch back, like said, and other people who talk about some of the struggles that's going on at FAMU and Southern and Grambling. I don't really care too much what you say either way, because I'm gonna be respectful to you. But I would just think that, as I told Perry, it's cool to talk about Prairie View when we're losing, when Southern were getting people that was dropping out of LSU to come to Southern and beat the crap out of Prairie View. You get your jellies off of that, that's cool. But we've never had people from A&M to flunk out, domestic violence, speeding down the freeway to come to PV. We've had students that say, you know what, man, I love the game. I'm going to play. We lose. We lost. We take the lumps. And we go on by our business. But it's amazing how all of y'all on all of these channels, you, Doc, some of these other people, y'all love to always want to keep PV in a pigeonhole. But now that they whooping y'all's ass, you have it's like y'all have a aura about yourself. Like, I dare that they be proud of what's going on. Well, why don't we say that same thing? Why don't we say we dare when FAMU wasn't winning? But you don't hear people from Prairie View say that. I dare when Southern, they were doing so good when they was getting the flunkies from LSU, but when they would play against good teams, what did they do? They never competed well. So I'm like, man, let's just be, as I heard you say before, you said, let's be respectful. So let's just be respectful to everybody's school. Love your school. Let's say it in line with them, love their school. And when we play against each other, let them play. Whoever win, we lose. At least at Prairie View, when we lose, we just say we lost to a better team. We shake the dust off and go on by our business. But when y'all lose, y'all come up with all kind of excuses. Well, you know, it's this coach there. It's this person here. It's that. We are getting tired of all that. So I'm just saying, let's do like you said earlier, and just be respectful for all of the schools. And if that's the case, that means be respectful, not pick and choosing when you want to try to throw dirt up and then you kind of cover your hands like, oh, I didn't throw no rocks. Because these young guys at PV now, like said, they waiting for you to throw the rocks because they waiting to what? To respond with some boulders. And y'all don't like when them boulders come y'all way. So let's just dial it back. We win, we lose. It is what it is.
Yeah, he probably still talking. I had to.
All right, now you gotta let me cook here. Oh, okay. Let me cook.
I piped him down. If he's saying, if he's talking, he can hear you though, Mr. Campbell. He can hear you.
Okay, so let's be clear. I'm one of the fair people. It's your coach that say, hey, Campbell cut a check, and I say, hey, y'all need support. I'm the one that said Prairie View should always be good. Everybody knows Lionel's my guy. I like said. But let me tell you what you're going to get from me. And this is a difference. Now, you want us to have this thing. See, there's a difference when you a blue blood. There's a difference when you got history of 70 years of winning, of national championship, not only just winning the SWAC championship, winning the big thing. There's a difference when, you know what, when you were our homecoming opponent, and we beat you twice. So you doggone right, we should never lose the Prairie because we FAMU. I'm from Jackson. You know what? Jackson ain't supposed to lose to Prairie View because that's Jackson State. Southern is not supposed to lose to Prairie View because that's what Southern people. Grambling damn sure ain't supposed to lose. So don't be mad because we doing a little bit of talking. But don't you ever think that I'm going to hide my hand, because one thing I'm going to do, I love Prairie View. I love T-Jack. I'm glad you guys got a voice. But if you think that the big dogs are going to sit up there and let the Chihuahuas bark and think we ain't going to bite back, bruh, you ain't ready for this. So I'm just telling you this to my Prairie View folks, and this ain't got nothing to do with the coaching staff, AD Golf, and there. Those are great people. This is trash talk because you come on this show to trash talk, but I'm just letting you know, bro, we FAMU and you ain't.
Did he just say Chihuahua?
I did.
Mr. Campbell.
So I did. Because we all having fun now. Because don't be acting like I'm disrespectful. See, it's very strong because everybody knows me. And that's what I'm saying. No, because you were saying I'm hiding my hand and stuff doing it, bro. We don't do that.
No. I'm just saying. I'm seeing it from the standpoint you said out of your own mouth, maybe a year ago, about being respectful. All of the universities being respectful to each other. That came out.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. I want to clear it up. Wait a minute. Let me clear it up. Wait a minute. Let me answer that. What I've always said, and this is my through line, and I'm always serious about this. I don't want anybody to talk about anybody's academics. Don't want to be talking about somebody's presidents, what they're doing. I'm not down with that because every one of these schools got a mission in their state. Okay. But listen, when it comes to football or sports or anything like that, if people want to sit back and make jokes about us losing the Valley, what am I supposed to do? Don't you tease FAMU about losing the Valley? No, fam, you're supposed to beat Valley. We're supposed to beat Valley.
All I know is I'm gonna just say, can you answer these questions? Yes or no?
Easy. Let's go.
The last time Prairie View played Grambling, who won?
Y'all won.
The last time Prairie View played Southern, who won?
Y'all won.
The last time Prairie View played FAMU, who won?
Y'all won.
Yeah, I'll flip it. The time before, excuse me, FAMU beat Prairie View 1 time, 2 times.
3 times.
Say,
we played y'all 3 times.
I thought it was 2 times.
No, it was 3.
No, we played you 2 times in 1 year, then we went down there and beat y'all.
Well, no, that's what I was talking about. In 1 year, y'all played us.
Okay, go ahead.
The year before, y'all won twice.
Right.
Okay, that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying. I was like, how do we play y'all 3 times? So the year before, y'all won twice. Yeah.
Okay, right.
I think.
So let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir. Yes, honestly.
When FAMU went to the Celebration Bowl, did they win it?
Yes, sir.
That's a yes or no. When Grambling went to 2 times, when Grambling went to 2 times, did they win one of them?
I believe they did.
When Jackson State went 3 times, did they win one?
I believe they did.
So you see the difference? So you can move the thing anywhere you want to move it. You can what you did. See, no. This is what let me tell you what this is what you you guys had this is what I'm talking about errors. You had a good season. What listen, hold on. You guys had a good season. Yeah. But a great season does not make what a decade of dominance, an era of dominance.
I agree with that.
That's my point.
What you saying that hypothetical? Hold on. What you say is, can you say this? I'm just asking because we don't know what's going to happen. If Prairie View wins the national championship this year, that would have been 2 years back to back going, and they split. Correct? Okay.
You did what Grambling did first.
No, I'm just saying, if that happens, would you say, respectfully, would you put that based on the way you're trying to, separate, would you put that with the FAMU and the Gramblings?
Oh, well, listen. Okay. This is what I think you're missing. Go down. Listen, this is my thing. You guys, like Coach said, you guys won the West 3 out of 5 years. I never said anything was wrong with it. I'm not going to do like
no, I'm not talking about that.
Okay, but wait a minute, I'm giving you credit. So my point, but there are levels to this.
I don't think we want you. I don't think they want your credit because you've done so much other stuff. But if they win the national championship, would that be on the same scale of the FAMU?
Well, yeah, because that means there will only be 4 schools out of the 12 that have ever won a Celebration Bowl. Yeah, you get to come to the VIP.
Can I ask one more question? And
this got to be extra credit right here. This got to be.
Okay, well, that's fine.
This can't be part of the test.
You know what? I tell you this. I'll put money on your book. So again, Mr. Campbell, I was the gentleman that met you in the tunnel, you and Coach, and I shook your hand because Rocky his back was turned. But that's beside the point. What I was going to say is, can all 3 of you agree, or can you tell me of another school, blue blood or not, that they could have lost their football program like Prairie View did and bounced back the way Prairie View did? Can one of y'all answer that school? Can you answer that question, Rick?
Well, okay. What is your definition of bounce back?
See, now we're going down there. This is where we don't go.
Well, I mean, the point is, I'm saying if you go 4 years, no scholarships, and again, this is why I prefer. I was listening. Hopefully, Coach would respond. I don't think that there's not a that y'all tell it blue blood school. If you want to say FAMU, Grambling, or Jackson State or Southern, I don't think any of those 4 schools could have lost scholarships for 4 years in a row and still being successful. Now, if you think that's the case, then congratulations to you. But I don't think that would be the case.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. But you've only won 2 SWAC championships in that time. So what is your definition of success?
Yeah, that was 30 years ago.
You won 2.
No. I was asking the question in present time. Well, that's not even present either, because that was back in 80, 90.
Hey,
I was
man,
asking.
this is what this is what I would suggest. We finna wrap up, but this is what I suggest y'all focus on. Don't go back to the 90s. Focus on this.
Valley. Whoa, whoa. There is a place I want to go. The name of the place ringing in my ear. Atlanta. 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 Atlanta is the land of the purple and gold. Oh,
Rocky.
the land of the purple and gold.
Right.
Get there.
Hey, listen, real quick.
Go ahead.
Quick. My people from Grambling just texted me. They said, listen, we had a whole team riot, didn't want to play, and still whooped PVs behind and came back and won the national championship. So Grambling said, we done failed that. They said we didn't have a team that didn't want to play and came back and won the national. I'm just saying what Grambling just texted me. That's what Grambling just texted me, Prairie View. So I'm just letting you know. So people have been down. Okay? People have been down. And they still went on to win a championship. So I'm not going to do
And, Coach, I know we got to get you out of here, Coach, and so we're not going to belabor this point. My man Ben can call us back next week. We'll be back on, and we'll be taking calls from pretty much here on out, man, when we have time. But, Coach, this has been another great show. This has been another great show. We're not going to go the same 4 hours like Mr. Campbell likes to do. We're going to cut it off at 1 hour and 30 minutes, man, and let everybody get to sleep on time tonight, man. But Said, I want to say this to Said, it was nothing personal yesterday. It was just the facts, homie. Just the facts. And I'm going to get out of here and let y'all have it.
Coach Campbell, you go ahead, man. I'm going to get on
man,
out.
Listen,
Man,
y'all,
but,
listen, I swear to God, I should just go.
Thank you. Keep watching us. Thanks to my man, Andrew Buddy, Scotty. Appreciate you, dog. Always never forget, you helped us, and we still, you're still helping us in some other ways off the camera. And I'm gonna leave it over to my main man who's carried us this spring. I can't say enough about him. I appreciate it. His show is off the hook. Sipping on Sunday, man. You're a genius, man. So I'm up and I'm out. See you guys next week.
Man, you guys are lucky. I am 5 minutes from just going back live because I know y'all boys.
You can stay on, Mr. Campbell. You can stay.
I'm just saying because I enjoy this. Prairie View. And listen, I'm gonna say this again. People know I respect Prairie View. But that call right there, bro. I'm gonna let y'all have, Said gonna have his show. Y'all watch Said tomorrow. Ain't no thing. Because man, it's all love, man. Everybody should have their voice in this thing. But I tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get off. But y'all join us on Sipping on Sundays this Sunday. And I'm gonna give you a whole segment for you to have us, the rest of us SWAC to believe that Kool-Aid that y'all drinking. And I'm gonna listen, man, whatever y'all can bring charts, graphs. Man, get the PB12, man. I will give you, and I'll let y'all cook. And then, because like I said, man, y'all just don't understand, man. It's levels to this, man. Y'all 1 year, bro. You got to keep doing this like the rest of us. We know what this thing looks like. But y'all, hey, we'll see. We'll see. But no, we listen, he said, let me go. Listen, man. I will stay on for a few more minutes, man. Just real quick. You know what I like about this show, and I like about what we have done? Lionel has a channel. PV folks will stand up. Said is on that channel. He got his little show. He giving people brass monkeys. My man called in, man. But, bro, I'm just going to tell you, for the rest of us, we don't care. We just entertain y'all talking. I'm going to be honest with you, because it's funny. It's funny. He said, so it's not emotional, bro. So it's not emotional. And you good to come on because we've had you on. But I'm just saying, man, you guys want everybody else after 1 year to put y'all on this pedestal. And what y'all say over there on Facebook, it's rough in the SWAC. Southern's not going to put y'all on the pedestal. Grambling's not going to put you on the pedestal. FAMU's not going to do it. And Jackson State damn sure is not going to do it. So that's the thing. What you guys keep missing. You guys want disrespect. That, and again, you get mad because you know what? You're gonna say, well, y'all moved the goalpost. We won the SWAC. But guess what? The goalpost is a championship. And the only people in the SWAC that can sit back and say that is Grambling, Jack State, and FAMU. Grambling, FAMU, and Jack State, and in that order. You guys went. That's all y'all did. Alcorn. So what's the difference between y'all and Alcorn? Alcorn went 3 times. I'm gonna say it again. Alcorn went 3 times. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. So you guys want us to sit back and respect after a one season, man. And one season don't make make greatness. It doesn't. Why you think folks at FAMU are mad? You know, y'all said y'all had a winning record. Coach Cozy had a winning record. Y'all might be happy with that down there at Prairie View. That ain't the standard. What you think? When TC Taylor got that first year, he knew what the standard was. You don't think them boys ain't working? Southern, even though Coach said in and out, Southern say, hey, man, we beat Prairie View. And I know Grambling people. Come on, man. This is what it is. So my thing is, I just enjoy the fact, but I don't want anybody to think I belittle anybody at school, because that's not how we do. I don't do that. But if we're gonna talk this talk, and we're gonna let y'all talk, and we're gonna keep talking, because see what y'all did, and this is what it is. The guy that won last, because you know who can do all the talking is South Carolina State, because they beat everybody. They beat everybody. They the champs. So they don't want to do the talking. Did y'all go and beat Jack State? Congratulations. You're the SWAC champions. Y'all are. But that's all you're going to get from the rest of us. That's all you're going to get is that you're SWAC champs. For the first time since 2009. Jack State been the SWAC champs 3 times the last 5 years, like I said. We've been the SWAC champs, and we just got here. FAMU just got here. And y'all think FAMU going to be down, bro? Y'all know what coach we got. Watch us cook. You'll see. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. We talk trash in the SWAC. My Grambling folks saw Rocky talking about comparing in the Valley. This is Grambling. They say, hey, Campbell, you better let Rocky know who we are. I don't know what's going to happen next year. That's just the way it is. So listen, I'm going to drop, and I'm going to give this about another. I'm going to do it to the top. So if anybody got anything to say real quick, because Rocky got the phone number, so I'll drop this StreamYard link. If you want to come defend Prairie View's honor or whoever, I'll give you 9 minutes, and then I'll shut this thing down. But we are not FAMU, Jackson State, Grambling, Southern ain't gonna give you Prairie View what you want. We ain't gonna do it. So you're gonna have to beat us to get that. So you beat FAMU, you did last time we played. But I like how you did that. But when it was for the money, when you played FAMU, you lost. Come on, man. Like I say. So again, new era, I am happy because I will say this, and this is serious. It is good for the SWAC that Prairie View is good. It really is. Because you all in Texas. We need that big market. I want that game to be something. I'm excited to see when y'all play Alabama State. I know how the SWAC does it. The SWAC should have put you and Jack State on. They should have said, you know what? I don't know who Jack State crossover game is. It need to be Prairie View this year. They should have done that for the fans, just for what we got going on. That would have been a huge game. They should have had Jackson State come right down there to Prairie View. Hell, should have made y'all homecoming game. Then we would have seen. That's what we want. So, man, I don't want Prairie View to be bad. Don't nobody in the comment want no team to be 1-10 every year. That's not good for the conference. Not at all. We want compelling games. When FAMU is good, Jack State is good, Grambling, Southern, Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman, Alcorn. Those are good games. Those are good games. Yeah, but they should have done that. They should have done that. They should have done that. So coming at, man. So like I say, but Prairie View, y'all beat Jackson State. Congratulations. And like I say, and everybody can make up things. Jackson State said, well, I started quarterback one day. What would have happened? But y'all, you know what? You won the game. I like that. You got a great coach. That's awesome. I want Prairie View to be good. I admire Prairie View for what you all are. But what you're not going to get is from FAMU. That is a tradition of excellence. To sit back there and look at 1 year and think that's something. You're talking about Grambling, tradition of excellence. I just showed you, bro. Grambling got a 20-year run. Match that. Match what Jack State did when they didn't lose a game for 5 years in a row. When the conference had all pros playing. Listen to what I just said. Didn't lose a game with all pros playing. Come on, man. Look at what Alcorn did. Going to the Celebration Bowl. That's what people want to see. That's a run. That's a run. Because guess what? I'm going to ask you guys a question. If Southern wins the West next year, who knows what'll happen? We didn't know Prairie View's going to win it. That means they won it 3 out of 6 years, just like Prairie View. Right? And Southern would probably have to beat Prairie View to get in that championship game. So that's what I'm saying, man. You know, but like I say, I enjoy this. But like I said, I want to be clear. I'm never, and like I say, Lionel, man, I come on Lionel's show all the time. Hell, Said comes on mine. I like Said. I like what Said does. I almost got mad at him when I realized, because I'm like, don't call me no monkey until I realized his last name was Brass. And I said, okay, I let that slide. Because we was good with that. I'm like, bro, hold on, you don't know me that well. But once I figured it out, because I didn't pay attention to it. So it's funny. It's cool. And he probably gives up, or he can get a whole show. Who cares, man? This is for all of us to do this, man. To talk our talk. Got your own show. Y'all got your own show now. So y'all can go and talk about FAMU and Jack State folks and all that stuff. That's fine. But you know what's sipping on Sundays. We're going to talk our talk. But on Coach's Corner, we want, and guys, you know that. We don't want, hey, I was like, let's get Prairie View's coach on here. Basketball coach. Because that was a great story. That's a great story. Prairie View's a great story. Because of the adversity you guys went through. And it is good that y'all got that chip on your shoulder, because you know what ain't nothing better? You know everybody, when they beat y'all, it's gonna feel different. And that's respect to y'all. Because trust me, I know Alabama State want to make sure they don't lose to y'all. I know Southern want to make sure they don't lose to y'all. I know Alcorn doesn't. I know Grambling doesn't. That's facts. So you guys, as they say, you move to the big boy table. The question is, can you keep a seat there? That's the real question. Because you can't just come to the big boy table like, you know, like at Thanksgiving and, you know, because the extra chair and then, you know, you're about 12 years old. They let you sit over there with the grown folks. You got to have a permanent seat. That's the real deal. Can you get a permanent seat at the table? Now, you got a great coach. I believe you guys will. I think every year in and year out, Prairie View is going to be a force because Coach T. Jackson is a great coach. You got a great AD. You guys are raising money. I think that's good. You say you back there. Okay, hold on. Mr. Said.
Good evening.
Productive people from Prairie View.
That's what's up. Good evening.
I mean, you're going to have to talk a little bit louder because I know you got that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Can you hear me? All right, cool. No, I'm not on my production setup. Hey, you know, great show today. You know, I'm going to, you know, stop it and go rewatch the beginning of it. You know, I didn't catch the beginning, caught the back end. Good show as always. Look, shout out to you, Mr. Campbell. You keeping these, you know, SWAC streets going. I think, you know, it's much needed. It was quiet out there. And even after the spring season, we still talking about SWAC football. And we hadn't even got to SWAC Media Day. And that's in July.
Bro, we talking about Prairie View. How about that?
Come on, man. Y'all got to get used to that. Y'all better get used to it. You know, it's a new era. It's a new day. You know, PV.
Let me ask you a question. Are we supposed, is this for y'all? Okay, question. When y'all say it's a new era, are we supposed to believe, let me say, because I know what the answer is. I'm just saying this for the joke. Are we supposed to believe in care?
I don't think we really care as much. PV is going on offense. We're just dictating the narrative. That's what's happening. Whether people care or not, you know, we leave that up to them. But we see people really care because people in their feelings. You know, PV is not being defensive anymore. We're not in a defensive position. We're now in an offensive position. And it's putting people in an uncomfortable place. That's the real story behind what's going on, to be honest with you.
Now, when you say uncomfortable, because I want to understand this. Because again, we see the dialogue between, of course I see it between you all and Jack State because y'all beat Jack State. But why do you think, and you even said, you put in the chat that TC Taylor, why do you think Jackson State will be uncomfortable?
Because Jackson State has used to being the bully of the SWAC. They have used to being the digital bully of the SWAC. When you go to their stadiums, most of the stadiums around the SWAC are pretty friendly. It gets a little nasty at Southern sometimes, but I mean, most people can agree Jackson State people are almost like Dallas Cowboys fans. They're probably the most annoying fan base that's out there, and probably one of the most aggressive vocally. Even being at some of the games, I went to use the restroom at a Jackson State game one time with my PV jacket on. That year we played Dion. Oh my God, just some of the most nastiest fan base and people. It was so at the end of the day.
Now wait a minute, hold on, because I want you to. Now you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm shocked. I'm gonna say this. I've been in that stadium. I've seen, and again, you can't get no ugly between Jackson State and Southern, because and I'm saying this no disrespect. Jackson State actually cares about Southern for a whole bunch of different reasons. Even I'm shocked that happened because Jackson people usually don't do that. So it's a new generation. So it might be, again.
Now the tailgaters was nice, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, because
and the older people, we got food, all that. So let me just give a full capsulization. But when you talk about the fan base, oh my God, look at the podcasters. Run them down. Almost unorthodox podcasters are all on the J State side. You can name them.
But we're not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna name them.
Yeah, don't do that because I don't want nobody to think we.
You can name them all.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But let me. Most unorthodox, but it's cool.
But wait a minute, when I said, but you done came in and you giving folks Brass Monkey Awards. Are you not following that same path?
Oh, for sure. I've given Brass Monkey Awards to PV people.
No, we know.
Two PV people. So it's no thing about, it's no biasness. It's not about, weaponizing it against everybody else. I think I try to be fair, and when I pass those things out to people that just egregious in their nature and how they go about, I would think, being ridiculous about Prairie View. Listen, it's all fun. It's not really that deep for me. This is strategic, and like I said, to answer your question, it's making a lot of people uncomfortable. More importantly, J-State people, because they've never had to be on defense. They've never been in a position to lose a game in their stadium like that, let alone a SWAC championship. The amount of arrogance that you felt in that stadium with them thinking that they were going, one of the most delightful games for me last year, to be able to walk in that stadium and punch Jackson State right in the mouth from the beginning of the game all the way to the end. And it's going to be the same thing in 2026, but it'll be at Prairie View's home stadium. It'll be at Panther Stadium this year.
Okay, well, I'm going to say one thing and say, I appreciate, like I said, man, listen, got a lot of respect for everybody that's doing this thing. Like you say, as I say this again, I know it sounds like broke record. Didn't have this when I was growing up. I had to listen to white folks on AM radio. We didn't have technology like that. But I'm going to tell you this, man. And, of course, Jack State folks felt they were going to, hey, they had their rooms booked. Mike Reed was already, hey, Mr. Come pick me up in the Escalade. Mike Reed was ready.
Yeah.
You guys did them. And for people, and I'm saying this, people thought they're impossible, right? Because they were a dominant team. They was rolling. They had a quarterback, got hurt, but got, they had all that talent on the squad. But you guys had a great game plan.
We exposed them, Mr. Campbell. We exposed them, and it's only going to get worse from here. I'm here to tell you. We exposed J-State. The cupcake schedule, has put a mirror over everybody and created a mirage. It's not what it is. And after we win this year, you're going to see mutiny within the Jackson State ranks. I'm trying to tell you. You're going to see mutiny in the Jackson State ranks after this year, after losing the PV again. It's already a split between should they play a tough schedule, should they not, how are they going to dress? You have the sick part about Prairie View is that we have a very vocal coach, and I'm gonna say this: that's what really J State really envious of. They wish they had a coach like ours that matched their, veracity as a fan base. But to have a quiet, non-visible on social media coach, really quietly for them, it kind of annoys them. They won't say it in really public spaces. But a lot of what they have towards PV is they wish they had a Tremaine Jackson. They wish they had a coach that was social media, culturally relevant, very had orator skills, and was kind of front facing in a lot of these scenarios. And
Well,
that's really what's up.
well,
They're
okay.
about.
Well, I know TC Taylor a little bit. I'm not gonna say I'm his best friend. I know a lot of people. I remember we played. He also reminds me of my coach Quinn Gray. But let me tell you something about guys like that. Because first of all, TC Taylor's not no little guy. Okay, he's a big man. If you ever stand there, he's a big dude. And I'm gonna tell you, cats like that, they do they talking to their team. And you know those type of dudes, and those are the guys, the scariest type of guy. Now, T-Jack, because see, let me say this, T-Jack had to do that for you. Because you know what's the best thing for T-Jack? He gave y'all confidence. Because y'all didn't have that confidence. And that's what T-Jack did for you. We, FAMU and Jackson State and Grambling, we don't need our coach to be, yeah. Because you know what? Those brands go out there and do it on the field. We don't need Coach TC Taylor be running his mouth. For what? When they went on the field. You think we care about Quinn Gray? Quinn Gray ain't no quote machine. He's been on the HBCU Coaches Corner twice. He ain't going to be around there. He joked about singing in Atlanta. But I tell you one thing about Quinn Gray. You ain't going to mess with him. And he ain't to be played with. Same thing with TC Taylor. So I think you guys, and again, I know say you're a little bit old, but this is why I don't like social media. You guys think social media is real life. And grown folks don't care. Because you know the people, like even when people say something to me, you know the biggest thing I laugh at? They ain't got the money I got, and they ain't did the things I've done. Because if you see me in the streets, you ain't gonna say it. And I ain't number 5'7", and I ain't never been worried about a fight. So this is for y'all. So you guys are the one. That's why I think Jack State people get charged up, amped up, because it was your coach. Y'all needed that because again, you guys didn't have the coach. You guys been to the SWAC championship twice. Y'all weren't doing all that talking.
We always was doing it. That's the problem.
No. Now, see. Okay, wait a minute. People in the chat. Well, when Bubba and Dooley was the coach and they were going, were they doing all this talking like they doing with T-Jack? Put it in the comments.
Listen, PV versus everybody existed prior to Coach Jackson. We were
I'm
already
not down. Yeah, Lionel was, yeah. But bro, you went okay. First of all, y'all did not coin that phrase. They got JSU versus everybody. They got FAMU versus JSU this, JSU that.
I'm specifically saying Lionel and the platform existed prior to.
Right, but bro, I'm talking about the way now. Lionel again. I'm talking about bro. Didn't know, and I'm saying this. You, Isaiah, G Boom, all them guys, even the young lady that's around now. That do the big talk, bro. Y'all wasn't doing that talking with Dooley and Bubba was y'all coach.
I was always doing that talking. Ask off script. I was always.
Well, okay, you know what? I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad you said. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm glad you said because you the same guy. Because let me tell you something. And Scotty called me. He said, "Mr. Campbell, I sent Scotty your video, right?" He said, "Ain't that the same guy? When they lost, I could never find him." That's what Scotty said about you. And said we could not find you.
Oh my God.
Now, yeah. See, we got receipts on that.
Scotty is the same guy that bet me that PV wasn't gonna win in the top 2 in the SWAC, and we end up West, and we end up winning the West. Never found off script to pay up on that.
Okay, wait a minute. How much Scott owe you?
No. It's not about the money. It's
no. It is no. Cause no. How much he owe you?
I'm not gonna say on a public platform.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna make sure because one thing. Coach, shout out to the Off Script channel that we on. Shout out to Rocky Mill channel that we on. HBCU Coaches Corner after dark, doing a little bit. Said my guy coming out there, but bruh, all I know is you would come on and listen, man, because I'm one of the contributors of Off Script. You come on there, do your talk, and then y'all lose, and then we couldn't find you. And we talking about exactly.
I will say this in my defense, Mr.
Okay.
Campbell. They be doing the show live right after the game. One thing I'm at the game. I'm at all the home games. I'm a season ticket.
Said they used to do Outspoken on Monday just when they were looking for you.
I don't remember that.
I call in,
and it was all, you know, this and that.
Crook, listen, neighborhood troll, listen. Now, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to tell you. Because Scotty don't make me have Scotty drop a video on you about when him talking about liquor. I'm telling you, I literally talked to him about you just the other day. Bruh.
He'll tell you my long storied history with him.
Exactly. And part of history is when y'all
was,
got ghost, when y'all lost to FAMU, to Jack State twice.
Oh, no, I was in them streets. I was in them SWAC streets. We'll go back through the clips and find them. I was in them SWAC streets.
All right.
Now, I might have been on the other side, on the Jackson State side. I was on a few of them Jackson State podcasts.
See, Emmett, listen, let me tell you something. We got some old school off-script listeners. Emmett, Adrian, all these folks. Listen, bro. Listen. I'm just gonna say my point. You all would not listen. Bubba was my guy. Dooley, I knew Coach Dooley when he was at Grambling. I know his daughter very well. Outstanding young lady. Y'all were not doing that talk until you had the big dog.
For sure. I'll concede
that. And now all y'all coming out now, all of a sudden it's more than 12 of y'all now. 13, 14, 15, 16 y'all. And then y'all looking at Jackson State, FAMU, and Southern people. When you listen, because one thing, and people know this, wasn't nothing louder other than when Cozy got there between FAMU and Jack State folks. Because we came in this, and everybody know we came into SWAC, didn't give a damn talking. We came in talking. That was FAMU. And we still talking. Crook no.
No, that's all good. It's all love.
So all I'm saying is that you guys are doing this talking, and all we're saying is the people that are sitting at the big boy table, which again, you got a big boy coach. He been at the table. Is that y'all better win? Because, bro, if y'all don't win, because I swear to God, if y'all do not win, I'm going straight Scotty. I'm going live right after the game on any game. Whatever, listen, it's two things gonna happen. If it's a game that eliminates y'all from the West, or y'all lose the SWAC championship, I'm going live, and I'm going live for 8 hours. Everybody can call it.
Mr. Campbell, how? The numbers, the stats, the recruitment, portal, returning players, coaching. It's a pipe dream. PV is running the tables, and it's going to be even uglier this year. Now that coach got a whole year remember last year's his first year. Now he got a year of the actual SWAC and got his, his proverbial legs up under him. His staff is in place. It's going to be worse this year. And we got a week 0, which we didn't have before. So we getting tuned up week 0. So week 1, TSU it's not going to even be the same. It's going to be ugly this year. I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Campbell. It's going to be ugly this year. The only competitive games is going to be Alabama State and Grambling for us.
Okay. Well, listen, that's usually what listen, the SWAC West is not deep, but I'm going to say this. So, and trust me, I can say it from both sides. When you at the top, like FAMU was, people going to shoot shots. They're going to say, hey, bro, you just got to take it. Same thing with Jack State. But I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you about them two fan bases. Trust me, we know how to take it. Because you know what? We know we're going to be back at it. And I'm going to tell you this too. Grambling people, what I love about Grambling, Grambling people are not talkers. Just like my boy said.
That's part. Grambling is part of the problem. Grambling has owned J-State recently these past couple years. And Grambling lets J-State off the hook. And PV not acting like at Grambling. So Jackson State is a little bit like the spoiled kid. Normally, even when they lose, they used to Grambling or somebody just going off to the side and not really putting it in their face. PV is not acting like Grambling. We gonna put it in your face. We gonna remind you every day that we beat y'all.
Well, you know why? Because I just showed you Grambling done won in the 2000s. Done won the damn thing damn near 8-9 times after half a generation. That's why Grambling don't do that.
For sure.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's why I'm telling you. See, this is what I think you guys miss. When I sat back there and we lost to y'all, and I was like, out of all these suckers we lost to y'all. But that's not where it's supposed to be. That's the whole thing. So best your bottom dollar. When that thing roll back around in 6 years, because that's how long it's gonna be before we roll back around and play y'all. Folks ain't gonna forget that.
It's over for FAMU. I hate to tell you that. Y'all ain't been right since we beat y'all.
Bro, listen. No, okay. I'm gonna
Y'all
say
ain't
this.
been right since y'all
Listen,
came to Kansas Stadium and we
no,
beat y'all.
no. I'm gonna help you out. It ain't y'all, Coach
It-
Cozy. Okay. See, there's a difference. We got a coach. I'm telling you right now, we got a coach that's 3 of those losses are automatic wins right now, just because we got an actual coach. I can guarantee you that right now. Because if you don't think Coach Quinn Gray is not a good coach, then
No, I'm not saying Coach great, but a lot of the problems at FAMU that normally y'all played to get to where y'all at, y'all not in that same situation no more. Y'all got to do right with them grades. Y'all can't play funny with the recruits no more. Y'all was playing close to the line with the recruits. Y'all ain't got that. Y'all ain't got that advantage no more.
Listen. Do you? Okay, I'm gonna say this and say it. Listen, you do realize we have the SIAC Player of the Year as our quarterback.
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Do you realize that at worst, because you would agree playing does mean something, right? And your coach came from D2, okay? And we've seen D2 players play, right? You'll agree that they can play, right?
Yeah.
So we have the SIAC Player of the Year quarterback. At worst, we got the third best quarterback. At worst, third best quarterback in the SWAC right now.
Yeah, but the rest of skill positions y'all lacking on. Defense.
Nah. I'm gonna say this again.
O-line, D-line.
Well, okay. All right. Well, you've analyzed the team. And when you see we won 8 games, I'll say I told you so. Tell you that right now.
Y'all winning 8 games this year? Is that what you calling?
We lost. I'm gonna tell you this. I'll make it simple. Hold on, wait,
No.
No, wait. I'll help you out. Hold on, I'll help you out. We're not losing the Valley. There goes 6. We're not losing Bethune. There goes 7. Right there. And we beating everybody else. We usually
What's
beat.
your SWAC? Well, not your overall record. What's your SWAC record in your SWAC games out of the 8 SWAC games?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We were 4-4 last year.
Correct. So you saying y'all going 8-1?
No, I'm talking about overall. Overall, we're going to win 8 games.
What's
I said we're going to win
record?
8. We'll probably go. If I'm being honest, we'll lose to Jackson State. That's 1. We'll lose maybe let me tell you something. Because listen. I'm just going because they got Andrew Body. That's 2. Who else we gonna lose to? Exactly. We gonna lose to Alabama A&M? We gonna lose to Valley, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Southern. See how that works? See, coaching right there just gave me 8. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Okay, so y'all going 4-4 again. All right.
No, we're not going 4. We went 4-4 last year. So we beat Valley, Bethune-Cookman. That's 5-3 right there.
I don't know.
Okay.
Bethune-Cookman, they ain't playing around.
Bro, listen, if we had to play any type of coaching defense, Coach Woody might not be here right now.
They get up for y'all. Bethune-Cookman get up for y'all.
Man, listen, I don't want to hear nothing about that. Right? We don't want to hear that. There you go. We ain't gonna hear that. There you go. I'm just telling you. See, when I laid that out, you see how you like, oh well. Now you gotta say Bethune-Cookman getting up with us, bro. Okay. All right. Well, listen, said. What said before you go, tell people where you at tomorrow night so we can watch the show and see who you gonna disrespect tomorrow.
It's all good. You can check us out. PV versus everybody on YouTube tomorrow at 7:00. I'll probably be a little late because I normally do my notes around now, and I called in on this show, so I gotta catch up.
Make sure you come in a little bit later. So y'all check him out tomorrow because he probably gonna disrespect Zoe and me in my show tomorrow.
No, y'all not on there.
We ain't get. Oh man, so they do enough. Oh man, well it must be really somebody bad then.
No man, y'all not on there. That's too easy.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, man, he gonna have somebody there. I'm disappointed, Zoe. I thought Zoe gonna be back to back on this thing.
Nah, I ain't gonna do Zoe like that. I know Zoe passionate, and he's a loyal J State. I give Zoe this. Zoe is the most sane Jackson State podcaster out of all the podcasts.
Oh, 100%. Because all about facts. That's why we do sipping on Sundays. Sunday nights at 9.
Yeah, he the most sane one out of all of them. And that's a lot of people. You talking about like at least 10 podcasters.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so and we still on because we had preview folks want to come in here and chime in, try to find out why we need to respect them. So I wanted to get them.
My man had you hot too. I don't even know who he is.
Oh no,
I wish that
no,
brother hit me up.
no. He didn't know. No, you listen, bro. I don't never sweat. I thought it was funny, but if you gonna come on the show and do that big talking, I gotta get in my big talking voice, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That brother, I don't even know who that was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I do remember him. So yeah, you need to listen, but you're not gonna come on here and try to ask me questions and think I ain't gonna ask you the question right back because you can ask the question where you want. Oh well, man, y'all, we don't beat everybody. Like last year. That's it. Now 1 year. That's okay.
Hey, but Mr. Campbell say this. A lot of people out of body when it comes to PV, and we gotta educate y'all on the stats. Rocky did, and I'm gonna talk about this in depth tomorrow. Rocky cleverly picked the 5-year period. When you pick that 10-year window, PV has the most winning SWAC record out of all the SWAC schools.
You know what? There's no way y'all got more wins than Grambling. That's not even possible.
No, we do. In the 10-year stretch, when you put all 10 years together.
So wait a minute. So you're going. So wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. So the 10. So you're going from 2016 to 2026.
2025. Yep.
2025 to 2025.
Yep. If you go that 2025.
Okay. And let me ask you a question. But then I got another question for you.
Because you got Jay. Because you know what J State got, and all those 5 years.
Oh no, they were bad.
You got 3 win seasons.
Yeah. No, they were bad.
3 win seasons in all those 5 years.
No.
What you got PV? That you got some 8-1 seasons. You got some 7-1 season. 1 year Grambling went 9-0 and we went 8-1, and we didn't go to the SWAC championship, and we was dominating that year. But 1 year Grambling went 9-0, we went 8-1, and because Grambling went undefeated, we didn't go, and our 1 game was lost to Grambling in the State Fair Classic, and we didn't go. We went 8-1 that year.
And how many times in that 10-year period y'all won the SWAC though?
No, we hadn't won in the SWAC since 2000.
So see, this is what you about to do. See this. Okay, hold on. I'm listen.
We just said.
See, this is a slick. Wait a minute. Listen, but listen what you're gonna do. So in that 10-year period, I know Alcorn won it 3 times. Y'all only won it once. Jack State has won it at least 4 times in that period. We know they won 3.
Yeah,
in that period.
They won 3.
So okay, so wait a minute.
2 with Dion and 1 with TC.
Okay, so hold on. So that's 3. So that's 6. Grambling won 2. That's 8 right there. So what are you talking about? So I just counted 8 just real quick in the 10 years. So 8 championships between Grambling, Alcorn, and Jackson State.
No, I'm not discounting your point. I just brought up the point about winning this record. That's it.
Well, see, but what you try, but bro, if you skating around and y'all ain't never won the thing, and I just say in the 10-year period, 2 teams won it 3 times. Grambling won it twice. So you're not even in the top half of that. Hell, we won as many as you won.
Yeah, but what you just noticed is that what I just brought out is the fact that 2 of those teams are in from our division. And like I said,
wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Now say it. You do know I can make that FAMU argument. 2 years in a row, the only loss we had.
Yeah, no. FAMU was doing their thing.
Oh, okay then. So come on, man. I can't give you that. I can't. Come on, man. See, listen.
I think I have a greater respect for FAMU. It was just a raw deal. Dion came into the league. FAMU would have really been running the SWAC when they came in. It just was unfortunate.
Well, no, it's okay because you got to say, man, listen, I'm about competition. Like T-Jack. That's what y'all say. I'm about we won't listen. Because trust me, ain't gonna be nothing better when we see y'all in that SWAC championship and Coach Gray light y'all boys up. Well, we won't be next year.
It for sure won't be next year.
It won't be next year. But we'll see y'all in 2 years. Or you know what? Hey, my boys from Jackson. When TC, if y'all run it back,
it's a wrap for TC. I'm here to tell you. Maybe a FAMU. I would love to see FAMU in there, and I love to see Alabama State in there. It's a wrap for J State, man. We've seen the better years of J State. I'm here to tell you. It's all going backwards from here.
Nah, all right, said.
Did-
I
did-
appreciate it. That's it, brass.
All right, I appreciate
Productive
y'all.
people, Prairie View. See you tomorrow night. I'm going
All
to
right.
shut the thing. Doc, I have to get you on the next time. I'm going to shut this thing down. I had to let Sid just do his thing real quick. So, Doc, I appreciate it. But, yeah, we're going to shut this thing down. Hey, man, appreciate y'all doing HBCU Coaches Corner After Dark. We just had to have a little fun and talk a little bit, man. But we will be back this Sunday, sipping on Sundays, me and Zoe. Got some big things to talk about. We're not going to be talking about Prairie View. I can tell you that. We done did the Prairie View. Ain't talking about Prairie View. We're about to talk about some other stuff. And then on Coach's Corner, we are going to try to reschedule Coach Chris Wright, but we're working on some other coaches, man. We really appreciate y'all, man. Watch us, man. Please like, subscribe, both the Rocky Mill channel, both the Off Script channel, man. It is Mr. Campbell signing out. HBCU Coaches Corner, man. Appreciate y'all. See you next week.